Oh, he did.
Okay. That's funny.
Yeah.
So, Duane, have you been up there today?
No, no, I've been all over.
You
I've
just
been
drove up
down
there?
Rogers at a commercial listing, and then I went home and worked on putting a commercial listing for Oklahoma in, and then I'm just drove up here. Come over here. Come on, come over here, dogs. You guys need to go outside, bro. Go outside. It's fine. Yeah. We're
They
good.
mind as do they mind as good as Alice?
No, Alex is a baby. No, she's no. Actually, if Stephen had showed up at my house, yes, Alice would be bugging. Oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're like, yeah, he's the new guy. Yep. Yeah.
That's funny.
Steven he's getting married. He just sent out RSVPs to a wedding last night. Yeah. I got one.
When
Yeah.
are you getting married?
We're doing June. 52 days. Yeah, June 7th.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do we know Read.ai meeting notes entered the waiting room? Do we know them?
No.
Or are we getting hacked?
I don't know. No, sometimes these Zooms are all Read AI is documenting all the notes now for
Makes
you.
sense.
And it actually I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know it does it on our any Zoom I do for Arkansas RLI. It does that. And
Cool.
it'll take out notes at the end of it and sum everything up.
So how long have y'all known each other?
Has it been three? I think I bought that. Yeah, it'd be 3 years now. Yeah. Yeah. When he got the
Nice.
best neighbor ever. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's definitely we had some upgrades there, some improvements. So I'll take it. Yeah.
How long have you been in hunting and like how did you even get started in this industry, Stephen?
Oh man. Well, it's just because that's what I've always done. So he's a young guy. I killed my first turkey in '87. Oh, see, I wasn't even born yet. I'm a big old
I'm
Oh,
a 93
shut up.
baby.
Have it, man.
I'm a 93
No,
baby. What year were you born?
I was 85.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I was born. You said 87. I was born. See, I first noticed calculations in my head. I first noticed Stephen, I think he was working at Giotto desk Oh yeah, a yeah, long time ago. Yeah. So I saw his channel I then. just did it for. I mean, I always just grew up hunting. That's what I did. A lot of kids would go hang out and do whatever with their buddies, or I was in the woods, and so from early on, I just started like playing in the woods and started creating habitat, and that's what I did. I hunted. I hunted a lot, and even as a kid, I was killing deer that grown men were jealous of, and when it came to college, it was like, what do I want to do? And I was like, I want to hunt, and you can't get a degree in hunting pretty much. So ended up having College Ozarks coming down, and they're like, hey, we have this new program. It's a conservation wildlife management program. I was like, that sounds awesome. It was actually a pretty intensive program because you do a lot of biology and botany and all this kind of stuff. But I majored in conservation wildlife management, field biology, did a minor in or another major in public speaking and all this kind of stuff. So that's just kind of what I did. After that, I got into when I graduated. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was working at a was it Boys and Girls Club or whatever, and I was doing that and ended up getting a job teaching at a local Christian school. And I started teaching life sciences, and I did my own curriculum in Arkansas ecology, and I did that, and then I just felt like honestly, like the Lord was calling me. Um, I've been filming my hunts for a long time, so I've been filming my hunts since I was probably 13,
Oh,
and got
wow.
pretty good at filming my hunts. With buddies. And then, I mean, I was using the old VHS tapes that you would put in there. Before there's even like camera arms to put on the trees, I was taping like tripods to the tree just so I could like have hands free with my bow and stuff. So I did that for a long time, and I just felt like God was just saying, "Hey, I want you to start a management series that somebody can learn from and benefit from." And at that point, I'd worked with Grant Woods for a little bit up there when I was in college, and kind of reached out to him, and he's like, "Hey, you just want to go online. Don't worry about television. Just go online. That's the way of the future. So I started and just felt like if I could reach one person, that would be awesome. And I remember when I finally got like 1,000 subscribers or followers or whatever, and now we reach, I think it's like organically like 50 million people a year on our platform. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so I just always have done it. It's just a passion of mine. So I love to be outside and I love the management perspective of hunting.
Who was your who was your taught you hunting as a kid? Did your dad hunt or your grandpa
Yeah.
or who?
So it was mainly dad. So dad's dad didn't really hunt or anything. So it was my mom's dad that got him into hunting. And he was old school. I mean, he was the kind of you drive around the back roads, and if you see a turkey or a deer in the ditch, you're going to pull up, you're going to shoot it, throw it in the back of the truck. If you want to fish that pond that's over just the other side of the fence, you do it. And so I started hunting with dad, and it was just like, he knew my passion for it. And so he got more into it. And it started with literally driving down grandma's driveway. And if we
Yeah.
saw a deer driving down grandma's driveway, we'd shoot it out the truck
Yeah.
window. And then it progressively got where I've still got the full collection of all the monster bucks and all the monster oak VHS tapes. I watch those so religiously that before they come on, before each hunt came on, I would tell Dad who it was. It might be like David Blanton, 143 inch on the Milk River in
You
Montana.
remember when you was a kid, Mad Max
Oh,
with Mark Allen Brewer and them?
I didn't
He
see
was a
this.
state trooper out Arkansas.
Oh,
It
okay,
was my
probably.
buddy's
Yeah.
dad. Yeah. We still talk all the time. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
I
So
hijacked your podcast.
No, you
I did
didn't.
want to
You're
know, 'cause I've
fine.
never heard him say that.
no, so
My grandpa was
it was
very
Dad.
much the same. He was an outlaw. I
Yeah.
loved him. I'd go back and spend another day with him today if
Yeah.
I had to.
Oh yeah. I would love
His
to
way.
my
I'd
livestock.
still do it his way if I
Yeah.
had to for a day. But
Yeah.
yeah, we kind of like wet in the bed. We outgrew that, or I did. So
Right.
yeah,
Well, that's what it was for Dad. Dad didn't have a whole lot of education in hunting, and so he saw my passion, and it got to where like I was so into it, I was teaching Dad at that point. Like
Mhm.
I killed my first buck before my dad killed his first buck, but we killed him in the same year. And Dad would, before he'd head out, be like, "Hey, so what do I need to do with the grunt tube?" I'd be like, "Hey, do a couple doe bleats, follow up with a buck grunt," and so that's just what I did. And I was literally planting food plots before Dad was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I need a tractor, I need a disc. I'm gonna go out there and start planting." And since then, like that's how Dad and I bond. We work together outside, we hunt together, and my passion became his passion because that's how we spent time together.
That's cool. Do you feel like most of your land management education and knowledge came from like your college education or just from experience?
There's a lot. The biggest is from experience afterwards. I
Yeah.
mean, in college, I learned a lot. You do a lot of studies. They did a lot of research studies, and you learn a lot from that. But when it comes to land management, it's got to be boots on the ground. Every single property is different. The areas are different. Regions are different. It's a case by case kind of thing. But my biggest teacher has been my failures and trying new things and being like, okay, that definitely doesn't work. It might look good on social media, but it just doesn't work, kind of deal.
Hmm.
So failures.
Hmm. Yeah. What's one property you've owned or managed that really changed your perspective?
I'd have to say two. One, the first was like my parents' 15 acres. It changed my
Hmm.
perspective on I watched all these shows and you watch them hunt thousands of acres and they have thousands of dollars. And I was like, we have 15 acres. Can I manage 15 acres and make it better hunting? Because we killed spikes and forkhorns on it. And then before we left that area, Dad and I were killing 130, 140-inch bucks off of that 15 acres religiously every year. Neighbors shooting spike, forkhorns, little dinks. And I kind of took that perspective of like, you don't have to have the biggest property to have the most dynamic property. And since I've come up here, it's been kind of the proving grounds of the hunting grounds. Like everything that I've said on the smaller scale. I mean, I'm now up to 120 acres here. Started with 90, I think, and I kind of took that and scaled it up a little bit. It still hunts like a small property because it's so narrow and I have so many neighbors bordering. But this has been the other proving. You see the long beard coming up back there in the back.
yes.
Go shoot him, go shoot him,
We're
go shoot
watching a
him.
turkey, a gobbler right now. He's lured it over here off my farm with corn or something.
It's
Oh my
habitat
God.
management.
Did you
Let
have
me tell you.
turkey? Did you even have turkeys here before I showed up?
I did. Uh, yeah, that's been like the biggest thing is like
I'm picking on him.
on
I
this
know he has. He's worked his tail off on
on
this
this
property.
property, that's been the biggest thing that's been changed is like when we got here, I was like, I really thought because I came from 15 acres in my parents' place to owning almost 90. I'm like mind blown. Like that's so much land. I'm not going to know what to do with it. It's going to be overrun with deer. We get here, throw cameras up, and we're just overrun with coyotes and predators. I think we maybe had a handful of local does and a couple of forkies and stuff, and no turkeys, zero turkeys. I had to have one. I think in that next year, I saw one tom like walk up through here, and that was it. And through doing all the management, now like even this year, like I hold a lot of hens on my place because I do a lot of management for creating the habitat specifically for nesting. And I don't hold the turkeys here during the winter. They go
Yeah.
north, they go big fields. But when it comes to nesting, I pull all the hens in because my property is smaller, but it's super dynamic and it's uh
I've got
it's grown a lot.
430 that kind of borders him
Yeah.
on the east, and there's an 80 between him and I on the north.
Mhm.
And I don't feel like I hold the year that I had a whole lot of sunflowers. I held a lot of turkeys all
Yep.
winter. They're going to our pastures that's got cows in it,
Oh yeah,
and they like that. But
they like the wide open spaces in the winter. It seems.
I do things to get them back in the spring. I get my fields cut low where
Right.
they come back,
Yep.
and etc.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna do a bunch of wheat this year that'll should
Yeah.
hold a bunch
They
in.
like that too as
the
a
grain
mature.
as a grain crop, and
Mhm.
I'll bush hog it down and burn it, and they'll be able to feed in there for the remainder of the fall.
Yeah.
So
But you look at my property, I've had it for 10 years now, 8 years extensively managing it. And in that time, each year I've increased almost double the turkey amount that I'm seeing on it. And as far as the deer numbers has done that exponentially. And then as far as harvesting, it's gone through the roof on there as far as like quality. So
It's like,
it's
what
changed.
is that process like for you from like when you just purchased it until 10 years later or 8 years later? Like, what steps have you taken? Like, kind of walk me through that in a sense to
It's a
get
lot.
to,
Yeah, you better have a passion for it. I'll tell you that because
yeah.
a lot of literal blood, sweat, and tears on the property. And basically, I came in and did what I could to start with. I thought coming in and planting a food plot, I was like, oh, that's what I need. Planted a food plot, and it pulled some deer in, but that wasn't what the game changer was. So then I was like, okay, I need a lot more food plots because I started really pulling in some deer numbers, and I pretty much maxed out the size of food plots I could have on this place. And I was like, at the same time, I was doing native habitat management. I was doing prescribed burns and timber stand management and stuff through there. But I wasn't solely focusing on that for the majority. And since then, that's changed a lot. Do a lot of edge feathering, do a lot of TSI, do a lot of prescribed burns. I really focus now on more the natives, and I've even gone back through and planted some of my food plots back in natives just because of diversity. It's year round. Those natives, um, they're natives for a reason. They withstand the drought and all the stuff through the summer where Duane knows as well as I do.
Yeah.
You can't some summers we're replanting or some falls we're replanting and
Yes.
replanting because it's drought conditions. It's flood conditions and then drought for the next 3 weeks and it kills off. So I really focus more on that, but going in and looking at like what's my limiting factors here? Like what do I have the food? Do I have the water? Do I have the cover? If I'm seeing Duane having a lot more deer on his place or my neighbors on their place, what does that look like where I'm seeing the deer? Like, why are they there versus not over here? I have a spot down the road that we always saw a ton of deer. It's a tree savanna, which predominantly a lot of this Ozark areas was back in the day before man came in and started managing. All our ridge tops were tree savannas. Wildfires kept, the trees knocked back, and it was super diverse. And I was like, that's what I need. Like, I need that tree savanna. So what have I done? In certain areas throughout my property, I've done tree savannas, which is just more extensive TSI. And since then, in those areas, they're dynamic. I'm talking there. That's where you're seeing most turkeys. That's where you're seeing the deer. It's tons of native browse. It's a year-round food plot. It holds the cover, and I'll put some water sources in there. Normally, now what I'm doing is just, I don't know, little water holes, like a 8 foot by 10 foot little water hole, or put a trough in there, and that's about it. So,
So to bring this into real estate, Gracie, the things
Yeah.
Stephen is doing, um, at a landowner level, there is programs to help you set those goals and sites. And there's money out there, like Arkansas
yeah, Arkansas is
paid
great.
$50 a year or $50 an acre to burn. Um, and it can be lucrative, but they're doing that to enhance the quality of hunting in Arkansas. I don't always agree with 100% everything they do, or Missouri, but there's things like that that they're doing, and they're doing that because they realize I think it's 98% of Arkansas is in the public's hands,
Oh yeah,
or private
right, yeah,
landowners,
right.
and only like 2% is in the public's hands. So if they can get programs out there for the public to use on their private land, then it benefits the wildlife as a whole.
Mm,
Stephen has done everything he's done here without any help.
yeah,
I have applied for some help, but
yeah.
I don't qualify. Apparently, I make too much money or something. I don't know.
Mm,
Um, I have I got a forest management plan, and in that plan it discusses everything that Stephen just talked about. So we're going to be doing that over 220 acres of my woods,
mm,
and then managing some fields and some riparian habitat, things like that for the river, the Big Sugar that flows through mine. But there is supposed to be help out there for us.
yeah.
I've had a hard time getting it,
Same.
but at the
Right.
very least, I have had them work with me to get a management plan, and that gives me direction. And it's something that if you work with a land professional, they usually have some contacts in the game and fish, and we can put them in contact with folks to help them start on a direction. Um, Not every property, I mean, some are rough. This one was rough when Stephen
Oh yeah,
started.
yeah,
Um, Mine, it has a lot of wildlife on it, but there's a lot of work to be done to get it to a trophy property. I
mhm,
mean, we're blessed here, um, to have, there's a 500 something acre farm to
yep,
our east
yeah,
that really isn't getting hunted.
yeah,
I think there's one gentleman that hunts it, but I can see the coming and going on that from one of my knolls, and they're not coming and going early in the morning. They're not hunting it hard. You're not seeing lights bounce around. The place to the north is 600 and something acres. Um, a guy I've got to know, uh, runs it. He's not allowing any hunting. I'll lease 150 to his west that borders me, so I've got 580. We're pretty private here. It's we're not seeing a whole lot of competition, and
yeah,
those places it's not getting hunted is putting age on some of our deer,
yeah,
and then we try to pull them or give them what they want on our place to hold them.
yeah.
Um, the dynamics of hunting has changed too since Stephen bought this place. I'd say in the last 10 years, the number of hunters is going down.
Yeah.
And so he just gobbled out there. I
Oh,
saw his head
oh, is
straight
he
up.
out there now?
Oh yeah, he
I need
hammered.
to reposition here. Like, where are
He
we at?
hammered.
Oh, yeah, he's
Take a
up.
picture. Get a picture. Get a picture.
Oh well,
He's a big old Tom.
he's a good one.
And see, I haven't killed a Tom here in over 4 years. I'll try this year. The last few years I've just been letting them go because I haven't had enough. But I have quite a few in here, and I'll probably come in and take one and kind of leave the rest. But
That's cool.
yeah, as he's talking about like the dynamics with our neighbors and stuff, he's a little bit more set up than I am. As I get down on my south end side, I have a lot more smaller parcels around. Then they do hunt. The neighbor here,
Hmm.
it's the neighbor, two neighbors down here, and another neighbor down here, and they have taken some of my target bucks. that are on my property. But my goal is
Do we
to.
want
That's
to talk?
karma. That's
Take some
karma.
point bucks?
That's karma.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
So,
yeah, right.
so we are sitting here. He has staged it to where I have to look at 183-inch buck that I think I raised it for him.
Ah,
He would say he raised it.
yeah,
and killed
we
it.
brought half and half.
He did spend the summer on my place, and then
Yeah.
for the most part, and then he moved up here late
Yeah.
season.
Yeah, I had him. I had him sometimes maybe a little bit more than Duane thought because I didn't know I had him that much either. But I've got a holler back here that I've done a lot of TSI in, and I put a water hole in it. I call it the failed water hole because it's got a tarp down there, and it didn't work out just right, but it holds water. And I had a cellular camera in there, and it was working. And I had him a couple times. I put a stand up strategic for that reason. And man, I just forgot about it. Wasn't getting pictures. I ended up going down there. I don't remember when it was. It was because I killed that buck in January. It was probably in December. I went and checked that and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that buck is in here every day. Like, and he's just super smart. He was like right on the edge of Duane and I's place. I'd found a few of his beds up on the bluffs, and he would literally walk up into that draw and it would be right after dark. He'd come by on the camera, get a drink. You could hear him milling around right before sunup. He'd come back by, get another drink, and go. And I think he just laid up a lot. He was. I've known that I had pictures of that buck for 4 years.
Yeah.
I think he was 5.5 at least, but 2 years I hunted him. The last 2 years I hunted him really hard, but I knew of him 2 years before then and had elected
The
to
first year I
pass him.
hunted him, he told me we should pass him. We're not hunting.
I don't know about that. Maybe I did.
I'm
I don't
picking at
know,
him.
but
People that knows the story, they're like, "Oh, I bet you're sick," and I'm like, no, not actually. I'm happy that Stephen got him because I was hunting him same day.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
heard the shot.
Yeah.
And I
I
just
remember
when
Dwayne's
he
told
shot,
me this story like 10
I just
times.
literally picked up my stuff and walked off because I knew there was one buck he would probably shoot.
Yeah.
But it was close to the last day, so I knew there's a chance he didn't kill it. But yeah, I heard the shot. I was like, yeah, that's that. And I just texted him when I got service. I got out of the holler and he said, yep, I got him. And I came up and looked and everything was awesome. And I'm very thankful for it because that deer could have just died on the hillside and neither one of us would have ever known or nothing. And I know Stephen works at it.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
That was one of those, I kind of had some, like, I felt bad in the same way too, of going, man, like, I know Duane was on it, but at the same time, the cool thing about that hunt was that was the only deer I killed all year. I didn't kill a doe. I didn't kill another buck. I'd gone through some stuff personally, and I was just kind of a redemption story. And I was like, it's only the second buck I've ever taken on this place myself. Like I'm super picky. I let kids come out and I let dad come out. But when that buck made his appearance, I didn't hesitate. And, I don't know if I'll hunt another buck on this place. They have to be just right for me to hunt them on this place. Like, I want age, I want maturity, and it's got to be something special. And I will probably shoot a smaller buck on this place that means something to me versus maybe a slightly bigger buck on a different property just because I put the work in here, and it makes it feel more special when you've done the work and it kind of all comes together.
Yeah. So Dwayne, from a real estate investment perspective, all this time and work that Stevens put into his property, like what kind of value does that add for return on investment?
This buck definitely would add monetary value to this farm.
Yeah.
I talked to a guy named John Butler this morning. He runs Buck Forge Food Plot Seed products, has for a long time. And him and I, he owns Buck Forge Ranch out in Hutchinson, Kansas, and he's asked me a time or three to get my license and do his Kansas property just because we get along. And he knows he can trust me and work with me. I've sold a large 1,700 acre place that him and I had together. He owned about 1,300 of it, I guess. And I had the other part and I helped him sell that. But, he's talking about there's been at least 2 Boone and Crockett bucks killed on his place. Now that's a marketing factor, but it's all the work that he put in with food plots, burning, habitat is all because of that. And he knows his property holds a special value because the work he's put in on it.
I would say on that too. I do a lot of consulting on properties just because I know what to do on them. I can go through and give them a 5-year plan or a 3-year plan or whatever they're looking for. And a lot of people, like I always tell them, like your work doesn't go with also without reward as far as hunting, but it also increases the value of the property. Like some of these property, like even my property, the areas I've gone in and cleared out, I've opened up more tillable, I guess, like kind of more farm, like planting available like areas. And then I've gone in, I've made road access through the whole property. And so it's accessible. It's like it's turnkey. If my house wasn't here, it'd be a turnkey, like ready to go. Nothing but like hunting paradise. But it adds a lot of value, a whole lot of value for what you do. It's just the proof's in the pudding.
Yeah.
I can show trail cam photos of turkeys upon turkeys and big bucks, and I can show trophy photos that we've harvested all those. And so,
Yeah.
um,
I've
a lot of value
grown,
there.
I think right at 400 acres the last month or two. Of those, you can look through and pick out, and I'm using that just simply to help me process that every property's different. Closed a 40-acre tract for a gentleman last week over by Kingston. It's got quite a few neighbors. Is it going to be a perfect, awesome platform to go kill trophy bucks and turkeys? No, probably not. It's probably an upgrade from what he's been doing, and he knows that because he's been stuck killing small bucks, and he knows that if he hunts, we looked at some saddles on it and the way the deer will work, and he has potential to upgrade his hunting there. It will have some bear coming out of some big, vast acreages that border him, and that drew value to him. So he can do some management and improve that 40 acres to where he will pull deer, because right now it's just one pallet of oak trees. And 80 I sold. It's going to be great hunting. It's over by Knoll, Missouri. It's going to have some real good potential. And I sold it to a good friend and his son that's been hunting on me. He knows management practices. I've been working with this young man for 15 years and he's got the drive. He wants to improve it, and he will work on improving it. Sold a 250 that borders, it's 130 in Arkansas, or 130 in Missouri, 120 in Arkansas. That, to the right person, holds a lot of value because you get Arkansas tags, Missouri tags. You can manage and hunt on one side. It works. If you get shut down the first week of the season because you maxed out on or tagged out on turkeys, you can go hunt in Arkansas. And it's great cattle property, but it also has a lot of potential for good bucks because those wooded draws that those bucks get into and get some privacy.
Yeah.
So each one, if you work with a realtor that knows land and knows hunting, and there's I'm not the only good one. Gracie and I do it, but there's other realtors in Northwest Arkansas that has that knowledge. They're great. There's a lot of us. You grab a town realtor that hadn't never spent a day in the woods.
Oh yeah.
You're on your own. Well, you are. I mean, you got to figure it out because you got to. You can trust the pictures that we put on, but you need to get out and look at stuff and verify.
Yeah. I think if you're someone that's looking for land, I think a lot of time, a lot of our mindsets is, you have to have big land to have really, really good hunting. And you don't have to do that. I think you guys in the real estate is what they say, location, location, location. And I think that plays a big variable into it. Like Duane was saying, it depends on your neighboring properties. What does that look like? Am I going to buy 5 acres that's up against, thousands of acres of public, or do I have big land tracts around me? But I would say for anybody that's wanting to buy land, don't be scared. Like you can do a lot with 40. You can improve that 40. And the name of the game is trying to hold your game on your property for the longest percentage of time before they go over to your neighbors. I think that's what my property is. It is dynamic. Every every square inch of my property is managed. Everything is gone through and had prescribed burns, TSI, planted natives, it's food plots, it's unpressured areas, it's got water holes. Like it's an oasis. It really is. And as hunting pressure gets harder, as the does go into cover, as the hens go for nesting, what do? They concentrate. And I only have 120 acres. It's a long 120 acres, but it's insane. There was not this last year because I think we had some, um, what was it called? Not blue tongue, but EHG this last year in here.
Mhm.
But the year before that and the 2 years before that, every single food plot would be loaded to the brim at in the evening. I wasn't pulling just my deer. There's no way. I was pulling neighbors upon neighbors upon neighbors deer because in the back food plot, I have about 3.5 acre food plot back there. Before I get out of there every evening, that one food plot alone, the other food plots were filled up as well. I would have over 30 deer before I got out of that food plot. Too many, to be honest, but it was because we were pulling and I could hold the deer. I've strategically managed it in a way that I'm trying to hold them here for the longest percentage of time to give me the best chance over my
And
neighbor.
I've saw
So,
that play out on a lot of
yeah,
properties. When Steve and I both grew up with outlaw grandparents, it seems like, but
yeah,
my dream was always to get my own property. And the first one I got, my brother Tom and I bought. It's an 80-acre parcel over at Boxley. I think you've been
yeah.
there.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And
I love that place.
so I got that, man, and we started managing. Well, I did. My brother just kind of comes and goes. He loves the Buffalo River, so he floats and does that. But I I was gonna put me a food plot in because that's the ticket. Well, like Steven says, it's a lot more than just a food plot. Food plot will pull your deer.
Yeah.
And man, it pulled them. But you've got to do other things to hold them all year.
Mhm.
So yeah. But then
Well,
we got into where we were running that kind of as a lodge. We were selling um, memberships, and it ended up being 1,700 acres that we had a lot of food plots in. And then yeah, it can become work.
Oh, it is. Yeah. No. So,
mhm. We've got about 5 minutes left, but I do want to ask y'all two questions. Stephen, what trends are you seeing right now in land ownership and hunting properties? Are people looking more so to own, lease, or go to like an inclusive hunting venue for like a weekend or 5 days?
I'd say right now the trend is what I'm seeing is I really hunting public is getting harder, it seems. And then there's even spots that we're losing some public. But I think a lot of them are going towards the trend of owning their own property. A lot of them want to. You have the control at that point. So you don't have to worry if you're going to bump into anybody else and you can manage it. And like myself, like if I had to choose between hunting and management, period, I would completely quit hunting and I'd just sit there and manage and watch the deer and turkey grow. And that's what I love. And I think a lot of people are getting that. They want a connection with the land, of their own land, and reap the rewards. So I think a lot of people, that's where they're mainly going. Now, it's just harder to find land. It's harder to find leases too. I'm trying to get on some leases, and it's hard to find leases that are actually good, and or to even lease out a piece of property by yourself. But yeah, it's getting rough out there as far as finding
Yeah.
property to hunt.
And Duane, are you seeing hunting land as more of a lifestyle purchase, investment, or both?
There is more farmers every day quitting farming. I think the statistics over the next 10 years are pretty poor for family farmers.
Mm.
There's
Oh
going to be
yeah.
a lot more land sold. Um, I sell to a lot of folks wanting recreational hunting land. There's more of that than I see people wanting to buy a new farm.
Mhm.
And it's unfortunate because we have to have the family farm. We have to have farmers.
Yeah.
So yes. And I feel if you are interested in land, you have to work with a realtor that knows what your goals are and understands them, not just hears them, but they understand them and can help you work towards that and can get constructive on purchase and all. Those diamonds in the rough is where you can make your own place,
Yeah.
but it's also the cheaper land out there.
Yeah.
Mhm. Stephen, if someone we'll finish with this. If someone owns land but isn't sure how to improve it, where should they start?
Um, well, I would tell them like, hey, watch any of my videos that you want to watch. But there's a lot of resources, like Duane stated earlier. State agencies, they do have a lot of resources per each state. Reach out to local biologists. I mean, they can come out, they can evaluate your timber, they can give you a management plan. There's a lot of even people like myself, there's a lot of other companies out there that do management strictly for properties, and you can reach out to them. They'll come in, give you a 3-year management plan, walk your ground, and give you every little bit of information that you need as far as to prescribe burns, when to
They
burn.
will even do it for you, some of
Yeah,
them.
100. Yeah, they
I
will.
did a
Yeah.
podcast with Joe Wilson and
Oh yeah.
that crew that the Lost 40.
Yeah.
It's a gentleman that does. He'll lay out your plan and do it.
Yeah.
He'll implement it for you if you don't have the time.
Yeah. There's resources
Cool.
out there for sure. And I'd be, if you know nothing about it, you need to reach out to a resource. Otherwise, you're
Yeah.
going to get out there and you're going to get frustrated and probably do a lot of work that you don't need to do. That's not going to equal up to a lot. It's good to get somebody in there that's knowledgeable and get you on the right track to start with, so you don't have to backtrack it all through there.
Yep.
One piece of advice for any aspiring hunter.
Oh, um,
I'll answer my side while he's
yeah,
thinking on his.
Okay.
Hunting a lot of times equals time, and that's the biggest thing. Get out, burn up some boot leather, and spend time outdoors because you're not going to regret it, even if you have an unsuccessful hunt. It's time well spent. You're going to learn something about the property you're on, whether it's yours or somebody else's.
yeah. It'd probably be similar to what I would say is just get out there and absolutely enjoy your time out there. Don't worry about killing or being successful or always or never failing. Like every single time you fail, like you're just going to be a better hunter. So
Yeah.
get out there and just make sure that when you're out there, you're there for the enjoyment, not for the picture on social media kind of deal.
Yep. Well, thank you guys so much, Stephen
Yeah,
and Duane. This
no
has been
problem.
great.
Yeah.
And we'll catch y'all guys next time.
All right. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Gracie.
it.
Thank you.
See ya.